Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Jazz Improvisation series. Today is Basics 2, and we're going to be talking about hip notes that you can use in your jazz soloing. To get started, go ahead and listen to some jazz musicians and some jazz tunes that you enjoy or are interested in or have even heard of. Compilation albums might be a good place to start here. To give you a quick example, my brother and I grew up playing music together in grade school, middle school, and high school, and beyond. And as a side note, he played trumpet, so some of the people that we listened to were people like Maynard Ferguson, Clifford Brown, Fats Navarro, a lot of trumpet players, of course, Clifford Brown, all those guys. We also listened to people like John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, Stan Getz, etc. Along the way, we threw in j.j. Johnson in the mix, Carl Fontana, Frank Rosolino. At the time, I didn't know much about it. I didn't realize I was going to be a jazz trombonist, so I didn't pay too much attention. But I did listen to this stuff quite early on, and we wouldn't repeat a lot of this stuff since we only had so much. So a good place to get some of this stuff, if you're not sure where to get it at, is maybe your local library. Of course, if you have access to the internet, there's a lot of this stuff online. Google, YouTube has a lot of stuff out there, I know, as well. Okay, so starting with tunes, try to learn tunes in as many keys as you can. You can start simpler by doing tunes such as I've Got Rhythm or Sunny Moon for Two. Tunes with kind of easier melodies that are a little more accessible if you're just starting out. And you can go as advanced as bebop tunes. I have a video that I'll share down below in the description of me going through that process of learning bebop tunes in different keys. I think I went through all 12 keys of a Charlie Parker tune. But anyway, we'll start with this. Here's I've Got Rhythm, starting in the key of B flat. I'll just play one of the A sections. Now here it is down a half step in the key of A. We'll go down another half step to the key of A flat. And finally, we'll go down one more half step to the key of G. Okay, to get onto the blues side of things, here's another great melody that's really accessible, and it's called Sunny Moon for Two. We'll start in the key of B flat. Etc., etc. It's basically the same 4-bar phrase played 3 times, and then it repeats again to go back to the top of the form. So that was in the key of B flat. Let's do another phrase of it up a whole step in the key of C. Okay, now up another whole step to the key of D. And finally up one more whole step to the key of E. Now the next thing that you can do is take solo transcriptions and do the same thing with them. You don't have to take an entire solo and play them in different keys. I'm sure people have done it out there. But just take a passage or two that you really like, a melodic device or a lick that really speaks out to you, and go ahead and run it in a few different keys, ideally 12 keys if you can. So it could be something as simple as this from j.j. Johnson's solo on the tune J. And let's go down in half steps this time. Another half step down to the key of A flat. And another half step down to the key of G. So if you're starting out, you might do something along these lines. If you want to do something more fancy, if you feel like you're more advanced, you can do something like taking bebop licks and playing them in different keys. For example, here's a passage that I took from jazz trumpeter Brandon Lee. In the key of B flat. Now here it is in the key of E flat. Now in the key of A flat. And in the key of D flat. Another thing that you can do is take scale patterns and do the exact same thing with them. Let's take this little pattern, for example, and go down in half steps. That was in the key of F. Now let's go down to the key of E. To the key of E flat now. And to the key of D. Okay, some other sources to find hip notes are scales and chords. Starting off, you might be learning maybe your major scales. After a while, your minor scales. If you keep going, you might learn your different modes. And then even further into jazz theory, you might be learning some more advanced jazz scales, such as a melodic minor scale, or possibly the harmonic major scale. So we're not going to demonstrate this here today since there's so much out there to choose from. So go ahead and do some investigation on your end and check out YouTube, Google, your local library, etc. Okay, so the final thing to do is to become familiar with as much as you can, including the things we talked about today, and go ahead and get creative with it. I'll give you all a little example here. I'm not going to be playing any tune or changes necessarily, but I'm going to be mixing a lot of this stuff up just to show you all that there's a lot of possibilities with note choices to choose hip notes. So that's it for this episode. I hope you got some ideas on where to find hip notes to use in your jazz soloing. If you found this video useful or interesting, please like and share it and consider subscribing to my channel. And we'll see you all next time. Happy practicing.